up guys, it's Danny, and today we're taking a closer look at the LEGO Star Wars TIE Advanced prototype from Star Wars Rebels, or the 2 Advanced TIE prototype as I like to call it. With a cutting edge and compact design, better armor, shields, and weapons compared to standard TIEs, it's no wonder that Darth Vader wanted a version of this of his own, but this in particular is the V1 model given to the Inquisitors to hunt down the Jedi. And I should hope they don't have to hunt you down for not smashing that like button and hitting subscribe for lots more LEGO Star Wars news, building reviews, and shopping hauls. This is set number 75082. It has 355 pieces and is recommended for ages 8 to 14, which I think is quite fitting when you consider the build. Now this set does come with 3 minifigures. First is the Imperial Officer, who also comes in another set, and he has what I like to call the sleep-deprived eyes and fear-stricken wrinkles. I like his hat though. And then the next one is the TIE Fighter pilot, who also comes in that same set, as well as a microfighter. He has an angry face, and his front and back torso are printed. Lastly here is the Grand Inquisitor, the only Grand Inquisitor that LEGO has ever made. His helmet has a red visor so that his yellow Sith eyes of terror can shine through. His species, the Pa'an, are from Utapau, and they are known for the lines in their skin and the red around their eyes, which in my opinion makes them the perfect villain. His shoulder armor is unique with a neck guard and Imperial logos and details printed straight on. He has a continuous torso print that goes onto the legs, which I love. It looks really solid. The back torso is also printed. And lastly here is the special rounded Inquisitor hilt that can spin his lightsaber really fast so that he can do this. Now, because of this Grand Inquisitor being in the Kenobi show, this figure has skyrocketed in value. So back in 2015, you could actually get the set for $50, which was the retail price. But that was kind of expensive back in 2015, considering the piece count and the figures. But actually, looking back, I'd gladly pay that because the value of the set has actually tripled and maybe even quadrupled since the reveal of the Inquisitors being in the Kenobi show. The set itself, however, is pretty small and compact, just like the ship in universe, and I think the overall shape fits really nicely. Obviously, you can't get perfectly rounded shapes in LEGO bricks and plates, but there are slopes in between, and I think that really helps to round it off. The coolest part of this vehicle is, of course, the folding wing feature, which doubles as landing gear and works so perfectly on this model. You can also open the wings back up by pulling out on the edges, and I think that is pretty satisfying. The wings are attached to the cockpit with an axle and a pin, and due to the overall small footprint of the ship, it feels pretty sturdy and it's really easy to handle, and you can pick it up from pretty much any angle. There are a few sticker details along the edges of the wings, and these 2x2 rounded tiles are actually printed. Along the top are 2 more sticker details for a total of 6 stickers, and then both of the cockpit shields are printed as well for a total of 4 printed elements. Both of these shields open so that you can access the cockpit and really easily get your figure inside. And you'll also notice that there are some 2x2 red transparent pieces built into the wall, which I think just for some reason looks really cool. Then the flight stick here is actually made by a droid body in a 1x1 tile. So there's no special control panel, but I do like the usage of that droid part and how easy it is to move in and out so that you can get your figure. Underneath the figure, the seat is just made up of one of these bumper pieces and a grate, and I think that works pretty well, but the back is tiled off, so it just gives this really small interior space a really sleek and clean feel. In fact, the top is considerably tiled off too, with these larger elements and even these slopes that are built off of a snot brick, which is studs out on top. And the final feature of this ship are the spring-loaded missiles, which can be fired by turning this knob here on the back, which I think is a really cool detail. It's actually not revealed until the end of the build, which had me wondering the whole time what this was for. The missiles will of course hang over the back, so when it's not loaded, it looks like there's a big hole, but honestly, it's not bad. If you're going to be looking at the front of the set, I think it looks just fine when it's folded up, but even better when it's on a display stand, which I highly recommend doing, because if you set it on its wings like this, yeah, so you don't want it falling over, and you don't necessarily want to display it with its wings folded, so I suggest getting a display stand for this. Now, why is this ship so cool? It's actually a precursor to Vader's TIE Advanced, which is actually seen in this other Rebels LEGO set. It's actually a big improvement upon the previous 2011 version that I have here. You'll notice that Vader's model is considerably larger and longer compared to the prototype version, and while I don't have the A-Wing versus Vader set, I do have another version, which is the smaller and cuter cuter TIE Advanced from Vader's castle, and honestly, this one is pretty accurate for how small it is. As for a comparison between these two TIE Advanced, I actually like the smaller V1 prototype model a lot more, both in the look and the actual Lego build. Now, I don't have the newer one, so I think that would be a better comparison, but as far as these two models go, I like this Rebels model a lot more. Also, for a size comparison, here's a First Order TIE Fighter, which is also pretty close to the same scale as these other two TIE Fighters. So just to show you how much smaller this prototype version is compared to some of the other TIE Fighters that LEGO's created. Now, I said this was a precursor to Vader's ship, but what were the plans that this ship was based off of? Do you see any resemblance here? Yeah, well, actually, this is Darth Maul's ship, the Scimitar. And if you were to remove the front hull, you would just be left with essentially a larger version of the TIE Advanced ship, which is kind of cool to see how the evolution of different Star Wars ships kind of changes over time. And if you think that this is cool, then let me know which other TIE Fighters or other Star Wars ships you'd like to see compared down in the comments below, and I'll do a future video on it. Also, stay tuned for my ATTE review featuring the other brother from another mother. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Happy building.